the forest is home to a beautiful deer king. Its two ribs are a golden color, like gold, the rest of the hair color is also very beautiful. Often out of 9 colors of luster, so people call it 9-color deer in the Chinese mythology. It is kind-hearted, often helping others get the respect and support of the deer herd. Once in the summer, there was heavy rain in the mountains causing a disastrous flood. The Deer King led a herd of deer to the river, seeing the rushing water flow of river, roaring waves curled up on the mountain trees. All the birds and beasts dare not go near the river. Deer King suddenly finds the person down the stream, with a weak voice and the cry for help. Dear Mountain God, Tree God, God, Dragon God, pity me, please save my life. Deer King see the scene on the shore and thought, such a rapid current, even big fish are difficult to cross. I am such a small forest beast, could I possibly save this person? But to save him is the right thing to do, I would rather drown to save him than watching him die. And thought, if this man is surrounded by elephants on land, I must have a way to save him, but now he is in the water, I may not be so powerful to save him from danger. If I rush to save him, others will laugh at me for not being strong enough. But also thought, save people more matter. The Deer King then jumps into the water. It is not easy to swim to the man's side, shouting to him, "Don't be afraid! Grab my horn, ride on my back, and I'll take you to the shore." The stone and trunk in the water hit the Deer King, hitting it all over the body till scaly and the pain is unbearable. But the Deer King still clings to the drowning man, exhausting all its efforts. Finally saves the man to the shore. The drowning man does not know how to appreciate the life-saving grace of the Deer King. He said to the Deer King, "If it is not you, the body given by my parents has no longer existed. And now my life is you giving me. Although you are the Deer King, now my life belongs to you. When you need me, please try to ask me." Deer King replied, "I do not want a status, any benefit, I do not hesitate to sacrifice my own life as cannot bear to see death. You should know that I am a wild animal living in the mountains, free to search for water and grass, never offend people's homes, never offend those hunters. This time because of seeing you fall into the water, not saving a life is not right, so you see me now. If you really have a heart of gratitude, I only ask you one thing, never mention me to anyone." The drowning man listens and mingles into cheers. He kneels on the ground to salute to the Deer King, said, "Your teachings, like good medicine, you are my first loving father here, you are my most respected person. I am leaving here now, but my heart will always be with you. I will never forget your life-saving grace. I'll never tell anyone that I saw you." After the Deer King sent him away, it returns to the deer herd. One day, the queen of a kingdom is dreaming that there is a very beautiful deer in the forest, the body hair has 9 colors, sparkly shining. Therefore, she is still craving for the antlers and deer skins till she is very sick. The king comforted her and said, "Don't worry about it, I am the king of a nation, what else can I not get?" The king then issues a notice to the nation, "If anyone can catch a 9-colored deer, I shall share the governance of country with him and give him silver bowl with gold grains, and gold bowl with silver grains." The drowning man heard that the king uses such a wealthy gift to catch the 9-colored deer. Arousing his greediness, his mind is full of countless evil thoughts and quickly he reports to the king said, "On my king, I recently saw a beautiful deer in the mountains. Its hair is 9 colors, as gorgeous as the 7 treasures, like a full moon among the stars. The queen could use its skin to make clothes, which is no better. I know where the 9-colored deer is." At the end of the day, his face is full of sores. The man takes the king into the forest. He walks in the front, followed by the king's large team of thousands of carriages and horsemen. The Deer King is sleeping in the forest. Many birds in the air see a large crowd of people coming in the distance, and the smoke billowed on the road, guessing. Needless to say, they must have come for the 9-colored deer. There is a good-hearted crow, hurriedly finds the 9-colored deer, falling on his head and pecking its ears. Deer King wakes up in shock and strangely thought. Before the crow and other birds are afraid to fly near me, every time they fly away. But why come to my ears today? What happens? The Deer King immediately stands up and finds that the king's army has surrounded it from all directions. The Deer King immediately said to the deer herd, "You all don't panic. The king's army comes to catch me, and it has nothing to do with all of you. Now we have two ways, one is that I struggle to escape, I believe I can escape, but also to break up the king's army. If the first method is adopted, all of you will have to run for your life or you could die. So, I decided to use the second method to see the king directly. Don't be afraid, I promise you're alright. Although I will be killed by him, you will be safely escaped when I see the king, and I will die without regret." As it finishes speaking, he said goodbye to its beloved deer and walks towards the king. The king brings many soldiers and archers, still searching the mountains for 9-colored deer. An archer sees the majestic and colorful deer has quietly come out of the jungle. Immediately he opens a bow and arrow. Though the king hurriedly stops him. "Stop! This deer is unusual, is it the embodiment of God?" The Deer King said, "King, please don't kill me first, give me some time to make things clear." "Dear King, you shouldn't kill me, I'm benefactive to your people." The king asked, "What kind of kindness do you have for my people?" "I once saved a man in your country," the Deer King replied calmly. At this time, the drowning man comes over, he immediately pointing to it and shouted to the king. "King, that is it! That's it!" But unexpectedly when his voice has just fallen, both hands suddenly fell off from his body, as if the rotten apple had fallen from the tree. The king is surprised to see the situation and hurriedly asked, "What's wrong with your arm?" The drowning man is too frightened to say a word. When the 9-colored deer sees the king panicked and frightened, it comforted him and said, "Why are you sweating, as if very afraid? Is it because of me? I have always been kind, never hurt people, please king do not afraid." The king listened to it, and his heart is calm now and asked, "Why did this man break his arm as soon as he fingered you?" The Deer King said calmly, "You are the king, should know that in accordance with the law of karma, harming others and doing bad things, should be sentenced to heavy punishment. So is he. This man betrayed others' kindness to him and committed a great sin. You don't have to ask me, just ask him." The drowning man had to tell the truth about what had happened. The king listened and said, "You have done something bad, shouldn't you be punished? In a difficult and critical moment, any little things that others do for you should be kept in mind. Not to mention such a great kindness. Not only you do not repay the kindness, but you intend to harm your savior. Punishment is the right thing to do for your action. Just like in hot weather, a person resting under a big tree, gets sheltered by the shade. Even a leaf should not be damaged, not to mention the life-saving grace." With that, the king kneels down to the Deer King and said, "What do you want me to do for your kindness?" Deer King said, "We animals, living our whole life in the mountains and forests, looking for our own food and water. There is nothing to ask for, but only the willing to protect us." The king immediately promises it and informs the whole country that no hunting would be allowed from now on. From then on, the 9-colored deer and its deer herd live a happy life in the forests. You see, people often complain about things they are craving but feel discontent, dissatisfied with their current situation and precious things they have. Even when someone helped them a lot, they will still be dissatisfied and grudge about this and that. Especially towards people around them, no matter how good others treat them. Still, they need more and more. Could you be calm and selfless like the Deer King when others try to exploit you? Thanks for watching. Please like our video and share it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.